Motion Graphics Toolkit is trending and it's hot right now, so you don't want to miss this tutorial. This is based on the work that I recently did for Thursday Night Football, and this After Effects tutorial. I'm going to show you my creative process, my inspiration, and we're going to break down one of these design examples that I did step by step, and also an overview of how to set up the toolkit. Go to the description, download the project files because you'll be able to follow along step by step. And also I'm including a version that is in 3D logo and text. And remember that life is truly a gift. Make it count.
Coming this season on Thursday Night Football, 10 more divisional matchups, the fiercest rivalries, the biggest stars. Black Friday football returns November 29th with the Raiders and Chiefs. And in January, the prime wildcard game, the first ever playoff game exclusively streamed on Prime. This is our biggest season yet.
Okay, so that is a promo that they used, and you can see any of these text graphics. That's all part of the toolkit, and they're incorporating it into this this promo, which it looks really nice. It's a very clean look, but it works really well. So they're also using it for their B-roll, for their promos, for their teases, or their bumpers. Here's another one. Here we go. Let's play this back. When they approached me into creating this toolkit, there was a couple parameters. Number one is they wanted it to keep it clean. The overall look for Thursday Night Football is really simple. It's big and bold, having the text, the logos big, right, in your screen, and just having the primary and the secondary colors of the team. So that was number one. Like, we want it clean. We want it just big and bold. Now, another inspiration that I had was I found this on LinkedIn, and I forgot the name of the company, but they were doing these graphics for the Premier League. And as I was looking at it, there's a couple things that stood out for me. Number one was a text. It was really big. For example, on this screen, and let me fast forward. And here, you can see that, let me just go back. Here you go. You can see that it says Liverpool. And you know it's Liverpool because of many reasons. Number one, the color, right? Liverpool has that red. Obviously, they have the logo here. But I really like how they stacked the text 90 degrees. They turned it 90 degrees. And some of the characters, some of the letters are cut off. But that doesn't matter because we know that this is Liverpool. So that's one idea that I wanted to basically extract and use it in a template. There's a couple other sections that we'll see it. Let me see. This one too. You know this is Manchester City because of the colors. You see, let me see if I forward a little bit or go back. Definitely the colors. You can see the word city here. That's smaller, but that's another element that I wanted to use. Let's make the text really big, the height of the composition. And I'll show you how I incorporated that. First of all, the text that is stacked up 90 degrees in a vertical format. You can see it here. Now, this is a team. This is more of a team intro. And again, you can see it right here with the text. And you know that it says Las Vegas. You know this is Raiders. You see the logo. You see the colors. So you don't have to, you can have some of the text cut from it, and you don't have to see the whole spelling of the team name or the city name. And another example where I use the text really big was, let me see where it is, right here for this transitional element right here. So we know that this, if you're a football fan, you definitely know that these colors belongs to the Miami Dolphins. You see the M, the I, and the A for Miami. In the background, we see some text, and that is the DOL, the first three letters for the Dolphins. Obviously, we have the logo here, but that is how I'm basically looking at different ideas, different videos for inspiration, and let me extract something that I like and then incorporating that into my design work. And the 3 categories that they wanted was intros, and this was about 2 seconds where they can intro a specific player or a team. So what I'm going to do is switch over to intros, and let me see if I can make this bigger. And just quickly show you the different intros that I created. Again, when you see this 1 and 2, these are placeholders where they can insert their own media. And that is one of the intros. This is a 4-box. So this is the actual toolkit in place. And just to show you, we can change it to, let's change it to the New York Giants. That is another one. We can change it to the Tampa Bay Bucks. We can swap it. We can swap the colors. We can go to this one. This one is for 5 videos. The one that I showed you where was just a natural progression of the Fibonacci layout and just creating different versions of that. And this is a version for the team. And I showed you that example, but for the Raiders, I was using the Raiders for that one. You can use the Steelers for this example. And this one is team 4 boxes. There you go. So one of the categories was intros, and like I mentioned, about 2 seconds. So it's not that long. It's not, not a lot of time, just 2 seconds. And a different category that they wanted was interstitials, which for them, interstitials just means a transitional element. So let me show you the interstitials. Pretty sure you saw this one in the promos, in the videos that I showed you. They use this, and they've been using this style a lot. And team big text. Let me load this into memory. This is one of the examples that I showed you. Team grid, which is just a variation of the intro. And this one, basically my idea was that they can cut at any time. And then the team logo box. I haven't really seen them use this one, although I like it personally. And I tried it out on video, and it looks really good with video. So that is the second category. And the third category that they wanted was text overlays. They wanted the ability to use text over video, which is really important for them. So let me go ahead and show you. Go to text overlays, and let's see, text overlays, animation. Let me go to player name. And let me switch the team. Let's go to Seattle Seahawks. See this one. Let's go to a different team so we can see. Let's go to the Rams. I think the Rams will work better for this example because right now it's on black, but the black is really transparent. And like I mentioned, this is really intended to go over footage. So this is one that you've seen that I showed you at the beginning of this class. They've been using this style a lot. Seems like they really like this one. Now, this one, they do have the flexibility to basically put their own custom text. Or in this case, we can go and put, let's say Cooper Kupp, or we can put Matthew Stafford, the quarterback for the Rams. Matthew Stafford, and everything updates. Let's say you only want the initial. And you see that I have some code that it'll scale, so it always stays between the two extremes of the width. Is basically the width of the composition. That's the guide. It won't be bigger than the width of the comp. So we have player name, we have simple repeat. And this one, it transitions out, and I did give them the ability to basically specify when they want to transition out. And one of the cool things is they can always, in the text, they can always override it with their custom text. And if they don't override it, they can switch between the city name, the team name, and the team motto. So that is across all the different text animation, they have that capability. So what I'm going to do for now, let's just keep the custom text, and let's just quickly just show you this. This is another one, and this is actually in 3D space, so they can bring it closer to the camera. They can rotate it. Now this example is basically inspired from that Video Hive template. I basically took the idea that they had where it was stacked and just incorporated into this text. Then we have versatile, and I've seen them use this a lot in the show. They've really liked this one. And this one is, I call it versatile because there's a lot of different parameters. They can switch between the name, the city and the motto, the city and the team name, and they can hide the logos if they want to hide the logos. So there's a lot of different options. So that's versatile. Now, when I originally gave them the first version, it only had these first 5. Then they came back to me and says, hey, we want more different text animation. So then this is what I came up with. Basically, this was the 3rd round of the toolkit. Just simple, just really thinking of simple ways to, have the text on screen and having some type of movement. And, one of the things that I really wanted to incorporate into the text was colors, the primary and the secondary colors of the team. This is just a very simple scroll. I'm not sure if, just giving them different options. At this point, I really don't know what's going to work. I think they don't really know what's going to work until they try it. So really, it's just giving them a variety of different text animation that they can try out. So we're going to go ahead and create a new comp. And I'll call it GFX Miami Hurricanes. And by the way, I went to the University of Miami, and finally they got a good team. So I'm very hopeful this year. There's great competition, obviously, but they got a great quarterback. So hopefully they can go far this year. Been a Hurricanes fan since I was basically very small. And what I'm going to do is add a plus, so I know it's this one. Okay. What I'm going to do is make this 50, and I'm going to create guides. That's the first thing that I do. And I'm going to create guides right at the edges. Let's put this at 0. And I don't know, it'd be cool. There might be a script or something that'll add the guides at the edges, because I find myself doing this all the time. But let me add one more here, 960. And then 540, just in case. Right there. So I'm using this value here to place it. All right. First step, go to the rectangle tool, double click, and create it the size of your comp. Let's call it BG primary, and this will be the primary color. Okay, let's fill it in. And then what I'm going to do now is make a copy. And this one I'm going to rename it to Matt. And then let's drill down to the content. And then let's change the color to black. Now this will be a matte, so the colors don't really matter. But I'm just changing the color just to show you what I'm going to do. So this first rectangle, we'll call it rectangle 1080 because it'll be 1080. Now I'm going to make a copy of this. So select the group, Control C, Command C, go to contents and paste it, Control V, Command V. And you should have another copy of that group. This one will be 960. And then we'll move it up above. Now this one will be half the size in the X. So what we'll do is we'll divide it by 2. And then we can change the color. We'll just make it white. Like I said, the color doesn't matter. It's just for visual reference for you. Now we want to move it. We want to move this one and fit on the right side. So what I'm going to do is for the position for the X, move it all the way, and I'll make it 480. There you go. Okay. Now let's animate this. So let's go to the position, and then what I'll do is right click, separate dimensions. And then we'll work with the X position. So we'll add a keyframe at the beginning, and then I'll go forward to 14, frame 14, and then we'll add another keyframe. Now, what I want to do here is I want to slide this over to the left. So here at frame 14, we can just move this over. And if you have snap to guides, you should have it snap. So let's check it out. Now, from here, we want to scale it down a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll go to the rectangle 960, to the path, go to the size, we'll add a keyframe. And then from here, let me go to 20, and then I'll add another keyframe. And then we'll link it back. And then for the size, we'll make it 800. So it'll change it to 800 by 900. So let's check it out. Let's see the keyframes and see what we have. All right, so this is what we have. Obviously we need to add some easy ease, but there's one thing that we need to do. Once we scale it down, we don't want to see the black, and that is because we're going to use this as an alpha matte. The color doesn't matter. What matters is the shape. So once we reach this point, we need to basically go to the rectangle 1080. And what I'm going to do is just play with the opacity and use the opacity as a switch to turn it off. So we'll go to the beginning. We need to add a keyframe at the beginning. So it's at 100%. And then this one will be at 0. Now, when we do that, it'll start fading out from the beginning. So what we'll do instead, let's just toggle whole keyframes. So it'll stay at 100% until it reaches the next keyframe. And that's it. So this is perfect. Now what we need to do is let's add some easy ease, and we can add easy ease if you have flow. This is where you can get creative and you can use some of the cool curves in flow. So what I'll do for this one, let's do cube out. Let's try cube out, and then this one I'm going to try cube in. And let's check it out. Let's see how it looks. And this is actually, let me see. Let me go back to the one that I created. I'm going to cheat a little bit just to make sure I have all the right keyframes. This goes to 20, 14. Let me read the values here because I had the right. All right, this is cube out, and then this is cube in. All right, the first one is cube in. So let's do this. So the first set is cube in, and then this one will be cube out. All right, so let's check it out. Perfect. So this is a move that we have, much better. And now we can bring in our first video. I'm going to go and the quarterback for the University of Miami, Cam Ward. And what I'm going to do is take out the rulers. Now let's leave the rulers. I'm going to make this smaller. And the video footage, let me increase the size to 135. And what I'm going to do is using track matte. I'm sorry, not the blending mode, track matte. We're going to go to the matte and it'll put it inside right there, inside our matte. Now we definitely need to move the position of our video. So let's separate dimensions and let's do the same thing. Let's add keyframes on the X position. And what I'm going to do here is add a guide between 0 and 9/60. So that will be 480. Move this. Let's see. Lock guides. I don't have lock guides. Perfect. Let me go back. 480 right here. 480. So what I'm going to do is for this keyframe, I'm going to move my video so it snaps right here. And maybe a little more. Since this video is It's kind of like a wide, they made it really wide screen. So this is what we have. Okay, now the next thing is, what I'm going to do is color code these. Let's color code these orange. And the next step is, let's add the text. So for the text, I'm going to bring in the text tool, cam, and I'm going to go to the properties. And let's bring in the green. And I'm going to make this 400. Now, the Thursday Night Football font is a specific font, and the client provided the font for me. It's called Avant. Excuse me. And it has different font weights. So I'm going to use the bold italic, and I'm going to make this 0. Make sure everything is set to 100. Now, the anchor point, I'm going to move it up here. So I'm going to go to Motion Tools. You don't need Motion Tools for this. Basically, you can hit Y and hit snapping and just move it up here. But Motion Tool has that utility to quickly do that. Now, what I'm going to do is rotate this 90 degrees and then just snap it here. And then what I'll do is, I don't want it right at the edge. So holding on to Shift and the arrow keys, I'm going to basically just nudge it by 10 pixels. If you hold on to Shift and the arrows, it's a nudge of 10 pixels. So I'm going to just move it down. So this cam, I'm going to move it underneath these two layers. Make a copy, Control D, Command D. And then I'm just going to nudge this over. And then I'll change the name to Cam Ward. And then let's do it one more time. Let's move this down. Copy. And then this copy. Let's just nudge it with the arrows. And I'm going to change it. And this will be the number of the player. In this case, he's number 1. So I'm going to make it 1. And what I want to do for this one thing that I forgot to show you, is very important. For these, what I ended up doing was, sorry about that. I skipped a step. And let's go. Make sure for the names, Cam and Ward, for the first and last name, the paragraph, make sure that it is left aligned for these. So if it's not, make sure that it's left aligned. That should help out a lot. Now, for the number, since it's just a number and I want it right in the center, I'm going to make it, for the paragraph, I'm going to make it center text. And then now what I'm going to do is just bring it down and just make it snap right here. And then this one, we can play around a little bit. We want to distinguish the number from the name, so we can just leave it with a stroke instead of a fill. It's just a way to just make it a little different. And we can increase the size. Okay, so now we play it back. There we go. We have, it reveals the text, which is pretty cool, but it's a little simple, right? There's no movement. We want a little movement. So this is what we'll do. We'll go to the position, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate dimensions, and then we'll play with the X. What I'm going to do is cheat a little bit right now, go back to my example just to make sure that I have all the right values for you. So I'm going from frame 5 to 14. Okay, from 5. So I'm going to trim the layers at frame 5, and then we'll add keyframes for the X position. And I'm going to go to frame 14, and I'm going to add keyframes. So this is the landing for our text. So we want to go back to the beginning. And what I'm going to do is very simple. For the first keyframe, we're just going to select it and subtract. I'm just going to subtract 600 from it, and I'll do the same for each one. So this one, subtract 600, and for the number, what we'll do is I'll make this 1270. Let's just round it, and let's subtract 600. And then this one, we'll make it 1270. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll offset the keyframes by 2. 1, 2. So we'll move this one for the last name, and then the position will be last. So we're going to offset this last keyframe by 2 frames. And now again, easy ease, go into the graph editor, make some adjustments. If not, we can go into flow. And I think for this one, I think quad will work good for this example. So let's check it out. Let's see what we have so far. There you go. So what I want to illustrate is that little movement helps a lot with the text, with the overall design. Okay, from here, what I'm going to do is we want to wipe up to reveal the logo of the team. So let's do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, let's see, the mat. No, let's go to the primary. This layer. We can make a copy. Let's just make a copy. Let's bring it up. And this one will be, let's make it the secondary color. So we'll call it logo matte. I'm going to bring it back so I can see it. Now, I need this to be half. So we'll make it half the size. And then again, move it over. So we'll move it over 480. So it's right here. Now this matte, the anchor point is right here. What I'm going to do is just to make things a little easier. Let's go to motion tools. I'll move the anchor point up here. Now at 18, let's trim the in point at frame 18 and go to the position. We're going to separate dimensions and then we'll work with the Y position. So we'll go from 18, we'll go to about 104, I think 104. Let's go to 104. Now, the beginning, what I'll do is I'll just move this down. And then what I'll do is go to flow. Let's see. Let's add this one. Let's see how that looks. No, don't really like this one. Let's go to cube out. Yeah, cube out looks nice. That looks smooth. So let's check it out. All right, so we have the color, we have the matte coming in, but now we need to reveal the logo as well. So I'm going to bring in the logo of the team. And then I'm going to put a guide at 1440, which is half that distance from here to here. All right, it'll snap right here. And then this is logo. And then these two layers, let's make it green. And then we'll scale it down. Scale it to about 60. Okay, now let's trim this layer so it's the same as the logo matte. And then now we'll use track matte, point it to the logo matte. And when you do that, the matte goes away, but we want to bring it back. So if we animate this, you see it'll animate the logo, but let's also bring back that matte because we'll use it at the same time. Okay, so this is what we have. Now from here, let's do the same thing, but let's reveal a second video. So I'm going to go to this logo matte, make a copy, Control D, Command D. Let's move it up. Hit U on the keyboard so we can see the keyframes, and then I'll just slide this over. That's it. And then I'll call this video matte. All right, we'll call this video matte. And then I'm going to change the color. And then let's bring in this shot right here. I'm going to scale it up. I'm going to move it over. And then trim it and make it blue. So we know that these two basically should go together. And then this one will go to video matte. Again, we're just using alpha matte. There you go. So this is what we have so far. And then let's see it again. And maybe the timing, let me go back to my intro. Yeah, it goes at 112. Okay. And then the matte goes to 106. So the matte is a little slower. I had it at 104. Let's move it so it's a little slower. All right, so that is looking good. Now the last thing is let's transition. Remember, I don't remember if I said it, but they wanted the intros to be roughly 2 seconds, right? We see it for 2 seconds and then you have to animate it out. So around 2 seconds is our transition out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create that X. And to create that X, I ended up doing this. Let me lock the text. I basically I just made an X with the text, right? And I went to the properties. And let's just make it a fill. And I'm going to go to bold. And what I'm going to do is put let's go back to bold and motion tools. I'm gonna put this the anchor point right in the middle, and then let's align it right in the middle. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to right click and I'm gonna create a vector shape from this. All right, let's delete the text. We don't need it. And then this vector shape, I'm gonna go to the path and hit Control T or Command T for the path. And then let's just scale it up. I'm holding on to, let's see, Control Shift, so you can scale it up perfectly in all directions. Okay, now one thing that I do notice is, and I'm gonna move this over, and I'm gonna move this over. One thing that I do notice is that the points are really not lining up. So let's line up the points. Let's make it how it should be. So I'm gonna go back to the path and I'm gonna just make it snap here. This looks good. I'm gonna move this down. And you see that it seems like there is more distance from here to here than this section. So I'm gonna just eyeball it for now. Just eyeball it. And then the points, let's grab these points and just move it over. Grab these points, move it over to this edge. And what I'll do is just roughly see if the points match. Yeah, unfortunately, for some reason, the X is not perfect, and I want to make it as perfect, basically symmetrical is what I'm looking for. I'm trying to make this symmetrical. All right, I think that works. It's not 100%, but it's way better than it is before. Now, once we change the path, what I'm going to do is go down to the transform, and I'm going to just adjust the scale along the X. Just make it wider. I think 150 or 140 works. And now, remember, this is a transform for the actual shape layer, not the transform for the layer. So when you're working with shape layers, you have a transform transform properties for the actual shape layer and also transform properties for the layer itself. So now we'll go to the layer itself and we can animate the scale, which we'll do. And we'll animate it at 2 seconds. So at 2 seconds, what I'm going to do is, let's move this over. And we'll go to maybe 210. We'll scale this up maybe to 250. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 frames after, what I'm going to do now is just make this so it just goes beyond the edges of our comp. So this is what we have. So there's a little scale action. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll add our last video, and then we'll color code this orange. And I'm going to trim this. I'm going to scale the video up because, again, the video is a little small. And then using track mat, let's parent it so the video is inside the X. So basically, this is what we have. Now, when we get to this point, what I want to do is, we've seen orange, right? The primary, then the secondary. And then let's use a primary again. So I'm going to go ahead and make a copy. Let's make it orange. And then just trim the layer. So this is... So it's up to you. You can use a primary. You can use a secondary. It's up to you in this case. You can use it on black if you want. All right, the last thing is let's add the text in a circle. And that's pretty easy. What we're gonna do is go to the text tool, and I'm gonna type in text for now, and I'll show you why. Let me go to the properties. And what I'm gonna do is make this smaller, maybe size of 48. And I'm gonna move this down here. Let me zoom in. And let's just make sure that it's in the center. All right, you can type in the text right in here. You can also, and this is the way that I used to write in the custom text or whatever text I wanted. Like if, for example, the team name or the player name, I did it via the source text. So what I would do is I would edit expression, And then this is where I was passing all that information. Obviously, for now, we're going to hard code it. We're going to hard code. What I'm going to do is type in X, 1, 2, 3, 3 spaces, put in Miami Hurricanes, and then 1, 2, 3, a small X, 1, 2, 3, and then the name Cam Ward. And I think, and then hold on, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think that should do it. Now that we have the text here, what I'm going to do with the text selected, let's go to the ellipse tool, and then right in the center, let's draw a circle, and hold on to Control Shift or Command Shift so you can draw a perfect circle. And let's change the color so you can see this circle better. Let's change the color. There you go. And then I'm going to switch it to none. We don't want to use a mask, but we do want to go to the path options and select that mask 1. And it's inside the circle. We'll reverse the path. So it puts it on the outside, and then we'll force alignment. So it's forcing it across the entire circle. And then we'll simply adjust the first margin right here. And then this text, I think it had all caps on. So let me take it out. So we have the small X here. And here it is. And this, we can make this smaller, maybe smaller. No, we'll leave it the size. Last thing is make sure the anchor point is right in the center. Alt, Control, Home, or if you have motion tools, you can go ahead and just make sure that it is right in the center. Go to the rotation, and we'll right click, edit expression. We'll use the time. We'll just multiply it by like 10, and that'll just rotate it. And then from here, we can just fade this out. We'll fade it out using the per character animator. So we'll go to the opacity, and we'll make it 0. Let me move this up. We'll go to the range selector. We'll go to the offset, make it -100. Let me zoom in. And then let's see, at 220, we'll make this 100. And then we'll go to advanced. And then to fade this out, we'll use ramp down. Ramp down will fade this out. And what I'm going to do is, let's try ease high at 100. Let's try it. That'll go a little faster. If I do ease low, let's check it out. All right, that's a little slower. So it's up to you if you want to use ease high or ease low on this. Let's see. Let's check it out. All right, it's looking good. I do see that I think this matte, I think I put it, no, it's 1080. It's working. It's working. I think it's just the guides and everything that I have. You can see something underneath. Let's see. Maybe when it's just displaying back, it looks, here we go. You see that little, there's a little line here. So let me go in. Aha, there we go. Let me just move this right there. Okay, perfect. You just need to tweak little details. Yeah, much better. So that is it, amigos, for this one, for this example, for the intro. And this is the foundation. Like, you can take this to the next level if you want to. Like Ennis was saying, this logo could be in 3D. It could be like a render that you render out in 3D. You can use the 3D that comes in After Effects. You can add different textures to the different sides. You can do a texture for this side, another texture for that side. You know, you can add more design elements on here. But this is the foundation where you can just really, you have the design, you have the movement, you have the flow. Now it's adding any other details. This composition right here, NFL Team Select, this is the main hub. This is like the brain or the main operation, the headquarter of my toolkit. All the information that I'm getting from any composition will read the values that I'm extracting from this composition. So no matter what comp I'm using or what layer, it'll always go into this composition and it'll extract the colors. It'll extract the team name, the city name, whatever information I need. So this is like the main hub of it. And that's the way that I was able to make it work. Now, you create a composition. This is a null object, and you're going to expression controls. I'm creating color controls, right? I'm creating drop-down menus. I do have a couple sliders, but it's mostly drop-downs, color, and also checkboxes, right? So this is a color control. You can see color, and I just renamed this to primary, secondary. I have one to swap the colors. You can see that I checked it, and these will swap. I have one for the logo style, and this is where you can select all the teams. Now, like I mentioned, after they saw the first version, they wanted additional features like custom colors. So afterwards, I had to come in, figure out how I can incorporate those custom, those additional features that they want within the structure of what I already had built. So that was a little challenging, but thank God I was able to pull it off because I definitely didn't want to start from scratch. But let me see. So this is the main hub. And just to show you, what I'll do is, let me see if I can give you a good example. Let me go into the logos and NFL team logos. Okay, I do have one comp as well here. And this comp has all the NFL team logos right here. And you can see that these are all shape layers. I converted them to shape layers. You don't have to do this process. You can leave it as a PNG. You can leave it as a vector file like an Illustrator or EPS. You don't have to convert it into a vector. I decided to convert it into a vector just because for two reasons. Number one was I didn't want to include any extra files in the toolkit. My thought process was, well, if I already have the vector and I can convert it into a shape layer, it's already it's natively inside of After Effects. It's not carrying an extra file that needs to be loaded in. So that was kind of my thought process. Now this comp for the logo is actually pretty big, 3000 by 3000. And the reason that I made it pretty big is because this is the actual size, is because I'm going to use this across the board. So I want to make sure that it's as big as it can be. Obviously, I don't think I ever used it at full res. But just to show you how the toolkit works, if I create a new composition, right, we'll call this comp 4, and I bring in, let me see, go back to the logos. I'm sorry, videos, VIP, there you go, logos, NFL team logos. Okay, I bring in the logos. And this logo, by the way, and I think I showed this in the class number 9 on building the Mogarts, and I was using the Miami Dolphins as an example. This, on the opacity, basically I have the code where it's going to the NFL team select, it's going to team switch, and it's reading which of these teams is being selected. So that's how I'm doing the switching. So it's going back to this composition. So if I go to, let's see, Arizona here, so you can see T, let me go to T for the opacity. You can see comp NFL team select, which is this one. Team switch, the layer team switch. And then we go here, layer team switch. This is the layer. And then it says effect. Inside the effect panels, it's reading at team. So NFL team select, team switch, team. So you can see that already I'm using that. Now, just to show you really quick how you can basically extract the colors from this main hub is, let's say we add the fill effect, really easy. And then by default it's red, right? Well, we don't want red. What we want to do is I'm going to bring this up here so we can see this. I'm going to go to my NFL team select, which is the main hub. And then I'm going to expand this, and I'm going to make sure that I can read the primary color. And then this is where I have the code, and this will probably be for another tutorial on how to explain the code. All right, so we're going back to our comp, and then simply all you need to do is, the reason I put it here is so I can connect these two. I'm gonna go ahead, edit expression, and let's make this bigger, delete this, and then using the expression pick whip, let's go to the color. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the NFL team select composition, I'm going to the team switch null object, and I'm going to the primary color, and it says just read that value. That's all I'm doing. Just read whatever value is inside that expression control, color expression control. So now if I show you the composition, now we have the blue color for the LA Rams. So if I lock this right now and I go back to the team switch and I go to the Lions, the Bears, the Raiders, and you can see here the color. So you can see already that it's reading the values, and I can swap it too. See, I can swap it. So that's what I did. And I did that not only for the colors, but I did that also for the text. Now this is a condensed version of one of my classes in my Sports Motion Graphics Master class. If you're interested in taking your sports, VFX, and graphics skills to the next level, get on that waiting list for the next enrollment period. And remember that life is truly a gift. Make it count.